Okay, welcome back. Okay, so we're going to do an example. Before we do an example, let me set up another scenario, another case, if you will. And that's if A is less than 90 degrees, okay? And A equals B sine A. If this is the case, then we have a right triangle. And now, here's the thing. I don't expect you to memorize this formula, but think about this. If I set up the law of sines, right? What this is saying, equivalently, is saying that A over sine A is equal to B, right? But we can write this as B over 1, right? So think about proportions, right? We've talked about proportions at length. So if I have a proportion, I've got equal fractions, right? That means that this fraction has to be equal to this fraction, right? Well, and again, we're using the law of sines, right? So typically, what is this saying? We want to set up the setup is sine B, right? So what this is saying is that if this is true, then this is true, right? So this is equivalent to this is equal to this, right? But the general form is B over sine B. So in other words, what this is saying is that sine of B is equal to 1. And sine is only equal to 1 when the angle is 90 degrees. And you can put that in your calculator. Okay? So that shows us that's why if this is true, then we have a 90 degree, we have a right triangle that we're dealing with, okay? So now, let's look at this situation again, just so you're aware. Now, we have an acute angle, we've got A and B. Now, it's not obtuse, so we don't have to worry about whether one's bigger or not, right? So we're just going to solve this. So I'm going to set up my equation, or my proportion rather. So I'm going to use the law of sines. And so it's going to be sine A over A is equal to sine B over B. So I'm going to plug in. So this is going to be sine of 30 degrees over 4.62 feet equals sine B over 9.24 feet. Now I'm going to just multiply both sides by 9.24, and so I end up getting sine B is equal to 9.24 sine of 30 degrees divided by 4.62, okay? And so when I calculate this, this is going to give me 2 times sine 30, and if you put sine 30 into your calculator, sine of 30 is 1/2. And so what you're going to do is you're going to get 1. And so again, sine B, what we just showed is that sine of angle B is equal to 1. Okay? So again, if you put inverse sine, if you use the inverse sine, B is equal to inverse sine of 1. And that's where you're going to get 90 degrees. And so you have a right triangle. Okay? So that means, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with something that looks like this. So angle B is a 90-degree angle. So we've got B, and then we've got A, and then we've got C, like that. Okay, so that means A is 30, okay, which means this has to be 60, right? So now we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So that's cool. Okay, and we know A is 4.62 feet, right? Now the cool thing is B is twice A, which we noticed, or I noticed. So this is going to be, again, 2 times, this is like your X, right? X, 2X, this is X times the square root of 3. So this is going to be equal to 4.62 times the square root of 3. We know that automatically dealing with 30, 60, 90 triangles. And of course, this is our 9.24 that we were given. Okay, so that was easy. It's a right triangle, so we get all the things that we learned earlier come back to play. We don't need to use the law of sines for the rest of it. Okay, and we're done. Have a great day.